GM, everyone. GM, I'm sorry. I was a little late this morning trying to emerge from my chalk burial yesterday. Thank you, Davante Adams and Derrick Henry. Let's do this.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atrophic chalkitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go. Let's go.
I got auto matched with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way, in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust out AP, coach 5 bullets to your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
GM, everyone. GM. Is this therapy? Is this what we're gonna do today? We're gonna tell ourselves to trust the process. We're gonna tell ourselves that fading the chalk will work out for us in the long run. I'm already seeing lots of comments about not wanting to fade chalk. I was getting mentions yesterday on Twitter. Maybe Derrick Henry is the exception. What if Derrick Henry is good chalk? I'm looking forward to it. This is how we feel like we're back. We hadn't had one of these chalk Derrick Henry weeks where the GPP bros fade, and then we all get to battle it out, philosophically relitigate what it means to be a tournament player. I wouldn't have it any other way. How are we doing this morning, everyone? I was really behind on sleep this past week. NFTs have been destroying my sleep, but last night I finally got to bed early. I think I went to bed at like 11. Didn't see the end of that Chiefs-Bills game. Seems like we woke up to a bloodbath. Lots of injuries there. So I'm still trying to pick up the pieces on that. Let's see. How are we doing this morning? Thank you, Eric, for that pour. I appreciate that. Some people come after me and say my coffee isn't black enough. So it is nice to get positive encouragement on that bit. There we go, J Mike. The best part of waking up is contrarian in your cup. I do have my ship chasing mug. J Mike, how is your ship chasing hoodie going on? Tell me you got that here. Pete looks ready for a scrap. This is my boxing gym tank. So yeah, I'm ready to throw. I'm ready to throw hands with anyone who says I was an idiot for fading Derrick Henry yesterday. We need to come up with a flavored chalk to make it more tempting sometimes. Yeah, did you see the thumbnail? I had some different flavors on there. I think there's a blue raspberry, there's a strawberry, a lemon. You got to get variety in your chalk. Even Toney as the cheap chalk wide receiver was a complete knockout. I see what you did there, Brian Schultz. I see what you did there with that turn of phrase. The double entendre. Kadarius Toney couldn't even make it through his first game without ruining it. I mean, just ready to throw hands there. How many targets did the big dog have now? This is the kind of stuff we need to talk about. I don't even know how many targets he had. What did he have? He had 29 carries. I didn't see him getting the screen game usage as much as he normally did. Someone in the chat, let me know how many targets Derrick Henry had. Hopefully it's less than 2 so we can say, see, Derrick Henry doesn't catch passes. Anyone check on Holka this morning? No, I have not heard from Holka yet. If you guys didn't tune into the tilt space yesterday, Holka was absolutely smashed. I feel a little guilty because basically what happens with the tilt space is Joe has been going to games. I believe his girlfriend is still a cheerleader for the Vikings, but they have some kind of connection to Vikings tickets. And so he goes to a lot of the early games. And then he has some drinks. He always tells us, hey, I've been drinking. I'm going to be kind of drunk for the tilt space. And we're like, okay. And then he gets on stream and he's just sober Joe. I can't, detect a scent of even being that drunk. And so I was needling him yesterday when he said, hey, I'm going to be drunk for the tilt space. I was like, yeah, right. I'll believe it when I see it, Joe. And I think he took that as a dare and he started ripping tequila shots. And we did legitimately get drunk Joe on the tilt space. So if you want to go and watch that back, it's on the ETR channel. We also had Levitan join us. He had a sweat in the FanDuel 222. Actually, kind of a brutal sweat. He had an inside track to $100,000 first place victory there, but that Zeke Elliott and Austin Eckler TDs there at the end of those games really sunk him. So that was a bit of a bummer for Adam, but always have fun doing the tilt space over on the ETR channel. Rob Lee says, I've been playing Zeke all year. Best leverage play because he leverages multiple chalk players. Yeah, I played him in my main double spy lineup. That was my only lineup that cashed yesterday. It ended up kind of saving my day, or I should say salvaging it, which was nice. I'll pull up some lineups here in a second. I ended up playing 3 of the spies yesterday. I played the double spy, the $200 one. I played the big 500K spy with 100K up top. And then I played the 200K spy with 50K to first. We're also, of course, going to have to pull up the Deposit Kingdom weekly leagues. Thank you guys for filling that early. I saw lots of comments on the YouTube video saying to make it bigger. We are going to try to make it bigger, but this is my thing with the Rake-free contest on DraftKings. I don't want to ever have to go to Twitter to promote it. So I'm not going to make it 1,000 people and then just let all the Twitter rent seekers get in it. No, this is for people who watch these shows, who hang out in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. And so we will fill it accordingly to that. So once I have the link, I will start putting it in the show notes of videos here on YouTube, and it will also be pinned within the Deposit Kingdom Discord. The quickest place to get it will be the Deposit Kingdom Discord. It'll be in the announcements section. I'll post it in the DFS channel and the Run the Sims channel. So that's the deal. For that, I need to touch base with Nathan for this week to see how big to make it. I believe we were 350 this week. We'll probably bump it up to 400. And I'm not going to run the other one that's not rake-free because I just want to focus all of our attention on the rake-free tournament here. Yeah, let me pull up this double spy lineup. It was my only lineup that cashed. I salvaged a min cash basically on that Dallas Cowboys touchdown at the end of the game, the defensive touchdown. And we can see what I had going here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Zoom. Let's do this. Yeah, so here I had a Trey Lance to Deebo Samuel with a Christian Kirk bring back. Deebo Samuel was a tough one for me. I was wrestling with some Brandon Ayuk stuff. I did have a Kyler double stack in another tournament that had Kyler, Kirk, Nuke with Ayuk coming back. But for this Lance one, I did want to get up to Deebo. And I knew he was going to come in the 10 to 15% range. But I also knew I had the flexibility if I was really behind to pivot. And I actually had a really nice start because I ate the Mattison chalk, and we can talk about that. I had Mike Evans as a one-off, which obviously did well. I had Chase, which again did awesome, but I had him correlated with Tunyon. So that was a bummer there. You needed Chase with Davante Adams. That was not chalk I was going to eat. I did end up doing a few different minis with Bengals wide receivers. I think I had an Aaron Jones with a Tyler Boyd and Aaron Jones with a T. Higgins. So that's just how it goes. You sometimes don't mix and match perfectly. But I did do that Zeke Cowboys correlation here. I thought getting this correlation sub 10% on Zeke and Cowboys at 5.8% was the way to attack that game. And then just played the Lance at 5,700 because I thought he had insane upside at that price tag. And, 13.6, I guess, is a little rich. If I hadn't have done as well as I did in the early slate, I might have gotten off of that. But I felt with Evans, with Chase, with also knowing I was going to be pretty contrarian with Zeke and Cowboys D, I thought it was fine to let that ride. And I did eke out a min cash here. Mongo says Saquon's ankle ruined me yesterday. Yeah, that was a bummer, especially when they showed how swollen it was after. And it's just like, here we go again with Saquon. Nick says, what's bad is I had a Brady double and Chubb Mike Williams mini and made a whopping $7. What contest was this in, Nick? Was it, and who were I assume it had Godwin as one of the doubles or Brait. It is tough. It's part of the reason why I mean, none of those guys you just listed were chalk, but I think that's some of the things too. And people are like, oh, I should have just eaten the chalk. And then they're like, well, I didn't win anything. I'm in cash. And it's like, well, yeah, because half the field had the same lineups you were playing. And then you still had to get contrarian at some places to move your way to the top of the leaderboard. Let's see here. Yeah, Tunyon, that one was brutal. I mean, my thesis on Tunyon was just a pure leverage play. I mean, Davante Adams was getting so much ownership, and it's like, all right, Tunyon is what here, sub 2%. What if he's the one that catches a couple of the touchdowns? That's pretty good leverage off of the Adams ownership. So yesterday's a classic day where I'm thankful to eke out this min cash, because when the chalk smashes that hard, Mattison, Henry, Adams, CD Lamb, Eagles defense, I mean, the guys who are winning the Thunderdome were winning it with just their cash lineup. I mean, cash lineups were destroying yesterday. I think what did Levitan end up with his cash lineup? I think he said it was like 180. I mean, his cash lineup was better than my best tournament team. So, I mean, that's just the kind of day that it was. We can see what took down this tournament here. It was a Brady double stack. And I mean, look at the percentages on this. Brady, you get a little low owned, but then you have Mattison, chalk, Fournette, chalk, Adams, chalk, Antonio Brown. That's actually not too bad. I thought he was going to come in a little higher. Waddle, chalk, once Parker was ruled out. Ricky Seals-Jones, cheap tight end chalk. Derrick Henry, mega chalk. Eagles, defensive chalk. I mean, the cash game lineups won. I think A Raven might have won the Thunderdome. Basically a cash game lineup, but with Kirk Cousins at quarterback here. Derrick Henry chalk, Mattison chalk, Lamb chalk, Toney chalk, Adams chalk, Ingram chalk, Fournette chalk, Eagles D chalk. It was a chalk-itis kind of a day. I don't know. It doesn't even, in retrospect, it doesn't even tilt me that much. Like, these just aren't the weeks we're going to win. We are not going to win the high scoring weeks. When it's 227 points to win, we're not going to win. We're going to try to win when it's a 190 point week. So what's the no regrets? No regrets here. Schroeder says, I had a Rodgers Adams Chase lineup go for 214 and had a $100 swing because of that Eckler TD at the end. Yeah, yesterday was a rough day for late sweats because there was so much going on at the end of those Cowboys games and that Browns game. That was tough there. Is it fair to say 2021 is chalk season? I don't think it's fair to say yet. I'd say it's spooky season right now, Brian, and it's TBD if it's chalk season. One chalk week alone does not make a chalk season, is what my grandma used to always say. Yeah, it is what it is. And like, we can't have it both ways. Like, throughout the week, I was saying, I love how this week sets up from a tournament standpoint, because we were getting things condensing a lot. Like, I loved a lot of the leverage plays that we were able to get, getting a Zeke Elliott in that game, getting, Aaron Jones and some of those other pieces, I thought were really nice. Getting the Mike Evans as a one-off leverage on Fournette. I played Mike Williams in a couple of my lineups, who I think was one of the best tournament plays and obviously worked out. Like 2 weeks ago, when the ownership was really spread out, I found it very, very difficult to build. I find it much easier to build when we know where the chalk is condensing and then how to leverage off of that. So again, it's chalk for a reason. They're good plays, and we're just not going to win on those weeks. But I feel I enjoyed building for this week. I thought the builds were fairly straightforward, and even if the leverage points didn't hit. That said, we did eat the Mattison chalk. I was talking in the Run the Sims channel within the Deposit Kingdom beforehand. I was a full jam on him. I think I only didn't play him on one team. I think I did a Chubb Aaron Jones combo that I kept on one team. But for the most part, I mean, I was looking at the updated sim results on Run the Sims. I was looking at Leone's updated projection on ETR. He was just an insane value. They have their value score at ETR. I think Derrick Henry and Adams were at like 4 to 5 as values or whatever, or maybe just Henry. And then Mattison came in as like a 9+ value score. I mean, it was one of those situations where it was the free square at 5,500. We sometimes get these situations where these guys aren't safely projecting for a huge workload, or their pass game role is in question. And then you start to worry, are they good chalk or bad chalk? But Mattison, I mean, his role was elite both through the air and on the ground. Obviously, he gets there with the touchdown as well. So I did think Mattison was good chalk. And I mean, obviously in the smaller field stuff, he got up to 64%. I think he was a little lesser owned in the large field stuff. And because there was, uncertainty with Dalvin Cook, I think it even kept his ownership in check a bit. I mean, he probably could have been 80 to 90% in this if this news had been out for the entire week, just of how mispriced he was here. Yeah, we should talk about AJ Brown. I ended up playing one lineup, and I'll tab through these lineups in a second. Like I said, I knew AJ Brown was getting steamed. I knew Visca was going to be moderately popular, and I made a decision, and I said, I like having fun sometimes, and I'm just going to play AJ Brown in Visca. Let me see which lineup it was. Here it is. So yeah, AJ Brown at 18%, which we all knew that was coming. Visca at 22.5%. I literally knew I was making a suboptimal decision based on how I normally build tournament lineups, but I said I want to have fun and use AJ Brown and Laviska Shenault. But yeah, AJ Brown, I talked about it with TJ on Friday. I started listening to the podcast. I listened to Blender. I listened to Leone and Dink, and then everyone's talking about AJ Brown, and it became very apparent that AJ Brown was not going to be sneaky. And that's how it goes. That's how the GPP content machine works these days. Say Gibson ruled out. Do you think McKissick gets that high of an ownership, or are there a few like Matty Pollard who would get rolled like that? Yes, exactly. McKissick does not get rolled like that because I don't think McKissick specifically, I don't think his role changes that much, right? Because they have him kind of pigeonholed in that role. He probably picks up a few extra carries, but they're bringing in, I don't know who it'd be, Jarrett Patterson. Jarrett Patterson is coming in to get a lot of that early down rushing load. So it's trying to figure out who are the running backs who would truly step into bell cow usage if that running back went down. And there's only a few of them in the entire league, I think, who kind of qualify like that. And you mentioned two of them there in Mattison and Pollard. DJ Moore needs an exorcism. I mean, wasn't he just coming off of a monster game? And he got, I hate to admit that I know that he was, shadow covered by, what's his name? Was it Darius Slay yesterday? But I'm told the X and O bros are telling me that's why DJ Moore didn't have a good game. So are we allowed to relax on DJ Moore? He got shadow covered. That game was a dud all around. Devonta Smith led the Eagles in receiving, 7 for 77. He had a touchdown called back because Greg Ward had a holding penalty. I think Chuba Hubbard was the only notable performance in that game. He got over 100 yards. Yeah, I've been getting lots of AJ Brown. Someone was in my mentions saying, I don't want to ever hear anyone talk about AJ Brown anymore. He's a ghost. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. If AJ Brown's price drops and his ownership is sub 10%, we're going to talk about AJ Brown again. I mean, AJ Brown early in the first half, he had that play on a crosser where he got stuck at the 1. It was a tough hit. But again, if AJ Brown gets in the end zone on that play, I mean, he was literally a yard and a half away from the end zone. If AJ Brown gets in the end zone there, are we talking about him being a ghost? I mean, in that scenario, he's at least up to 12, 13 points. I don't know. I'm not pressing the panic button on AJ Brown. It stings way more when the buzzy tournament play doesn't hit, right? Because that was last week with Odell. He's our sneaky tournament play. We get all excited. And then that flops. That's when it really hurts. When your 1% tournament play doesn't hit, like when my Tunyon doesn't hit, I'm like, whatever. I played Robert Tunyon. What was I expecting? But when you play the Odell Beckham, AJ Brown, you have that warm GPP blanket. You're like, no, this is a tout approved GPP play. And then it really stings. So yes, we're all feeling it this morning on AJ Brown. AJ Brown and Deebo Samuel are the same player. I'm not going to sign off on that, Miss Kristen. I can't sign off on that. Debo is great, but I do think AJ Brown has dimensions of his game that Debo Samuel doesn't have. And maybe I'm being stubborn on that, but I do think AJ Brown is a upper echelon elite of the elite player, and we need to ride this out. Ben Gretsch, if you're writing this, can you give us 1,000 words in your Stealing Signals column this week about how we need to just all RELAX on AJ Brown? Please, please. All right, let's look at a couple of my other lineups. Then we'll take a look at the Deposit Kingdom League. This was in the 500K SPY, 100K to first. I ran a Derek Carr double stack. Very happy with all of my ownership percentages in this lineup. One of the reasons I arrived on the Carr double was just because I was liking all of the Raiders. We talked about Henry Ruggs basically throughout the whole week. TJ brought him up on Friday. We talked about him on the show yesterday. I believe he was the cover boy there. Obviously didn't have the big game there, but Henry Ruggs at 3% with his role. I thought that was nice. And then Waller as well. I think, the tight end projecting for the most points on the slate coming in at 5% there looked good. Did a little bring back with Darnell Mooney. So I thought that game was nice. And I also knew I had the flexibility late. If I wanted to rearrange this, I could. This was my Aaron Jones and Tyler Boyd lineup. That one doesn't get there. Obviously, you needed Jamar Chase as your pairing with Aaron Jones for that to work. And then I had a one-off Christian Kirk in this lineup. That's just how it fit salary-wise, and I knew he wouldn't be too popular there. Chargers defense, another one that just fit and wasn't going to catch a ton of ownership. That did not work out. -3 points I'm just seeing right now. This lineup, Snowflake City for this lineup. But I don't know. Happy with the construction. Got my correlations in. At least I was correlated. Put it on my tombstone, my Derrick Henry tombstone. This is the full blizzard. I mean, Soccer Dave is looking at this lineup and absolutely salivating just thinking of a blizzard. Let's see. What won this tournament? Holy cow, a 248 score took this one down. Justin Herbert to Mike Williams and Eckler. Those running back double stacks were hitting yesterday. The Brady, Fournette, Evans, the Herbert, Eckler, Mike Williams. He has Kareem Hunt is the bring back. Plays Kadarius Toney as a one-off. Correlates Antonio Brown. No, look at this lineup is super correlated. Okay, we stand this lineup. We stand it. Okay, Herbert, Eckler, Mike Williams, Hunt bring back. Kadarius Toney and CeeDee Lamb correlation. Gesicki and Antonio Brown correlation. Vikings defense, 248 points. We bow down to you. We care. Nice lineup there. This one is interesting too because of how little information they had going into the 4 p.m. slate. They had Antonio Brown and Gesicki and then Vikings defense. And they knew all of the Herbert side and the that the Herbert stack was going to not be popular, but then knowing that you could eat the Toney and Lamb chalk, knowing you were going to be so unique everywhere else, and that you had already gotten a ceiling game from Antonio Brown at 12%, I think helps, validate that decision to let Toney and Lamb ride there. So pretty sick lineup here. 248 points is absolutely insane. Let's see. This was my third SPY lineup here. This was my Kyler double stack. Kyler to DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Kirk. I actually am kind of surprised that Hopkins came in this high. I was thinking he was going to be more in the 5% range, but I wonder if he was a popular late swap candidate. I'm guessing that some people who were playing, versions of the CeeDee Lamb and Amari, or even if they had like a Saquon in the flex, might have considered pivoting to Hopkins, and that's why he comes in at 11.2%. I do bring it back here did I bring it back? I thought I brought this back. I apparently didn't bring it back here. I guess that makes sense because I didn't like Ayuk that much. I had Jacobs with is this my lineup? Where's my correlation here? Did I block out and forget to correlate in here? I play Jacobs as a one-off. I play the Antonio Brown, Laviska Shenault, and I played Camyon Brate as a one. I hate this lineup. Why did I make this lineup? This lineup is bad. It's bad for like 4 different reasons. I knew I shouldn't have played the A.J. Brown and the Laviska Shenault, and I still did it. Brate was fine as a one-off. I think he was kind of like the Tunyon, where if he gets the touchdowns and they don't go to Fournette or whatever, it's fine. The Cardinals double stack is fine. I just don't remember what I was doing with. I would have thought I would have brought it back. I think you need to bring back, if the Cardinals go nuts, someone from San Francisco is probably coming along. And this is kind of why, too, when I was talking to Leone about our tilt space lineups, his preferred way of playing the Cardinals was just through Trey Lance. So like even doing a Trey Lance single and then bringing it back with Christian Kirk and Hopkins and just taking that, what was it, 2,300 in salary savings for Kyler. That probably was the way to do it. I'm always rushed. I actually built some lineups on Saturday night to try to not be as rushed, but I hadn't been building them with Alexander Mattison, obviously. So that did mess with things a little bit. I was doing a little bit more tweaking here. Let's check in on the Deposit Kingdom contest here. I did just toss my shitty Kyler Murray double stack in this, so I wasn't making any noise. Who took this down? It was Cash Million. I believe I saw Cash Million in the Discord here. So congratulations on taking this down. We have a Dak Prescott skinny to CeeDee Lamb, bringing it back with Kadarius Toney. Oh, man. Cash Million had chalkitis yesterday. But that's how you win. That's how you win in week 5, the week of our Lord. Derrick Henry, 28.6%. Mattison. I love how the Mattison was less chalky in the Deposit Kingdom League than it was in most of these other spies. Where, let's see, 56% there, 57% here, 53% here. Look at the contrarian Deposit Kingdom bros not wanting to eat the Mattison chalk. Lamb, 23%, Toney, 16.6, Adams, 24.9, Seals Jones, 10.9, Fournette, 14.9, and Washington Football, 17.4. There's a reason his name is Cash Million. This is a cash team, but very nice team there. 217 takes it down. We had Jake Feltzer in second place here with a Daniel Jones double stack to Evan Ingram and Kadarius Toney. Bring it back with Amari Cooper at 3.7% is pretty nice. 3.7% on Amari is not bad. Does eat the chalk at running back, Henry and Mattison and Adams there, but gets that correlation with Jamar Chase, which is definitely helps there. That 30 burger from Jamar Chase, Eagles D. This is too depressing for me to review these lineups at the top. This is a unique thing. I can't believe Joe Burrow was 14% in the Deposit Kingdom League. That is nuts. I mean, what was he in the other stuff? Probably like 5%. Joe Burrow, 14%. I like this double stack. I do think this is the sharp way to kind of utilize Adams. If you're going to utilize him, build a contrarian double stack around him. Although, again, Chase not that contrarian in this league, but I think the process was smart. Someone should do a comparison of Deposit Kingdom ownership relative to like the SPY even. The ownership is very funny. So you get that double stack with the Adams bring back. You do the Toney and the Lamb. It's looking like that was a very popular correlation yesterday, and I get it. I mean, 10-2 on 2 guys who are projecting very well in the highest projected scoring game of the slate, and then eats the Henry and Fournette chalk. No Mattison, which is interesting. Fournette coming in at 14.9%. I wonder if the thesis was that all of the ownership was going to funnel to Mattison and then Fournette was going to come in underlooked. I had no Lenny Fournette. Anyone else in here? It's Mookie. Shout out, it's Mookie in the Run the Sims Discord channel. He had a nice Brady to Evans and Godwin. Bring it back with Gesicki. I like the Zeke play here. Eat the Mattison chalk. A one-off Ruggs. And then Kadarius Toney correlated with Ezekiel Elliott. This is a very nice lineup. I like this a lot. I wish I would have played more Brady. I ended up settling on one-offs. Played Evans as a one-off. Played Brate as a one-off. He was popping. Brady was in the ceiling projections. I think he was Leone's third highest projected ceiling quarterback. The play definitely made a ton of sense. And especially with once Parker was ruled out, I mean, the bringbacks were easy as far as Waddle or Gesicki. Gesicki did get steamed pretty hard with that news. Not ideal, I think, to be playing a tight end at that ownership. But, I mean, again, it just goes to prove you're eating that chalk basically to get less things right. You're making a bet on that game. Brady throws for 5 TDs, and you're absolutely cooking there. The premium double as well. I think if I would have run the doubles, I probably was going to do Brady Evans and then one of Brate or Antonio Brown just to save the salary there. But getting up to the premium double, not too bad there with those guys, priced nice. I mean, some of these other premium doubles we look at, you look at the Lockett Metcalfs or the Jefferson Thielens, those get a little cost prohibitive. But at 68 and 63, I think that worked out pretty nicely here. Yeah, are there 2 Deposit Kingdom leagues? So this week there were 2 Deposit Kingdom leagues because I had set up the 200-man one before DraftKings blessed us with a Rake-free tournament. So we will definitely I'll pull it up right now, the other Deposit Kingdom league. But going forward, there's only going to be one Deposit Kingdom league because I don't want people to be confused. I don't want to be splitting how these fill, etc. But again, the selling point of our DraftKings one is it is rake free, right? So this is a $10 200-man. So that means we have what? It should be a $2,000 prize pool, $2,000 going in. You see the total prizes is $1,800 here. So in this contest, there's a $200 rake. DraftKings says, Peter, you and your people need to give us $200 to host this contest. The new Deposit Kingdom League has $3,500 in entries and $3,500 in prizes. So it's basically saying that it's as if there are, 20 or now let me do the math on it. As if there are, because this rake here is what? 20%. So Drico is doing the math for us yesterday, but it's like saying there's dead lineups in this when a contest is rake free. It's like you're not having to go against, 20, 30 some lineups, depending on how big we make it relative to how much rake we're saving there. So my point is we're going to play the rake free tournament. We're going to take advantage of it. We're going to try to grow it. We'll get bigger prize pools the more people we get in. And this will be the official link. It will not be within the Deposit Kingdom League. You won't get notifications for it anymore because these are individually created tournaments by DraftKings. And the only way to get the link will be in the show notes of the videos or in the Discord. There you go, Willis. Testimonials. Hashtag testimonials. If this contest wasn't rake free, I wouldn't have cashed. Yeah, extra 35 entries paying out. Thank you for helping me do math this morning, Brian. But let's check in on the other Deposit Kingdom League. I don't want to leave our people out. We have ODU grad taking it down with another Brady stack. Does the skinny stack and bring back with Gesicki. Eats the cheap running back chalk, but gets in Lamb, Jefferson, correlates Lamb with Toney. Did 2 one-offs there with Jefferson and Evans. I think that's fine. Cardinals defense, congratulations to ODU on winning what could perhaps be the last rake-free Deposit Kingdom GPP. Nice job. Barnacle comes in second, just 2 points behind, with another Burrow single stack. Again, the way to get access to Adams. This is an interesting lineup. Did kind of another secondary game stack here with Minnesota, Detroit. Play Swift and Mattison and Chase there. And then also we have the Kadarius Toney chalk there in the flex. Nice job there. Kadarius Toney. I'm trying to think, like, he wasn't really, I mean, I saw him popping as a points per dollar play, but I just guess I just almost automatically wipe out wide receivers that are cheap and are going to be chalky. And I think also because I was pretty buried early that I never even was looking at swaps involving a chalky guy. But I'm just trying to think through if it was bad on my part to not have Kadarius Toney more on my radar. Let's see here. Who got third? NJ Gordo, 208 points. Another Brady. Is this an unstacked Brady? No. Double stack. Antonio Brown and Godwin, Gesicki coming back. So everyone who is double stacking Brady. Oh, this is a triple stack. Fournette, Godwin, Antonio Brown. And this is actually, I think, a good illustration of the importance of contest sizes and things you can do. I think in a 200-man league, a play like this is completely viable. Triple stacking someone like Brady on a team with a massive team total. I don't think you would want to do this in the SPY. I think there's way too many people like in the 500K SPY with 5,000 plus people. I think it's probably too hard to normally pull this off. And you see, Godwin not quite get there and why it's really hard for three guys in a triple stack to get there. But in a 200-man field, I think this is completely viable. Just saying, you know what? I know the Bucs are going to score a ton of points. I'm going to try to capture it as many ways possible. And then just eat the other chalk, Mattison, Adams, and Higgins there. So I think this was a smart lineup for a 200-person. And I'll admit too, I get lazy with the 200-man contest where I normally just toss in one of my SPY teams. But again, in the same way, like the lineups that I make for the SPY often look different from the lineups that I see Leone making for the Thunderdome, or even that we make for the Juke, which is, generally a 400-person tournament. There, you can go a lot heavier on the game stacks to the point where you're only having to get a couple things right. Could be legitimately two things right, like two game stacks. Whereas I think in the SPY, you're generally having to get, I don't know, three things right. It's just harder to correctly nail just two things in the SPY. So I like the idea of tweaking your lineups here to cater to this contest size. My guess would be most of us are just tossing in our favorite lineup, our best lineup, our single entry lineup. But I think it is worth considering that these kind of onslaughts and mega stacks are far more viable in a 200-person field. Maybe that'll start to change as our Deposit Kingdom League grows, 350, 400, but definitely something to consider. Let me pull up my beautiful conditionally formatted spreadsheet that keeps track of all of my single entry Bankroll challenge. And then I also need to check in on my Owners Club lineups, although I don't think those did too well yesterday either. All right, here is my spreadsheet. We can check in on where I am at this year. Let me get some zoom. Zoom, enhance. So actually broke even. I actually made $100 yesterday on my documented SPY lineups because I played those three SPYs, the 100, the 200. You can see here, I absolutely bricked in the other two SPYs, 97.7 percentile there for that one 500K SPY, 86th percentile for the other one. This one I eked out that min cash at 17.6, $400 happened to min cash in the one that mattered, getting that 2x min cash in the 200. So I actually make $100 on my SPY lineups yesterday. Brings my current net in these contests here to just under 3,000. So sitting nicely here still in the SPY. I'm going to continue to play similar volume. Next week, I actually think my volume is going to be scaled back. I have my nephew's christening at 1 p.m. next Sunday. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So next Sunday morning is going to be frustratingly crazy for me. And I'm already tilting it. I'm tilting right now that I'm not going to be able to do all the selfish things I normally do and play lots of lineups. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted thinking about my Sunday morning next week. But yeah, definitely extremely happy with how this season is going so far for my single entry tournaments here, and continuing to truck along. Being able to get these min caches is pretty big for not hemorrhaging your bankroll or giving away your winnings. So feeling good about that. Let's check on how my owners club lineups did yesterday. I don't think they did that great, but we will take a look at them nonetheless because I am a masochist who must see how I did. Will I be getting drunk at the christening? I do not think so. I don't think I've ever even been to a christening, so I don't even know. I don't even know what is that, are we passing around the blood of Christ and getting drunk on church wine? Is that what happens? My entries here in the owners club. Oof. I had my main lineup here, or my favorite lineup, I should say, was this Bills stack with KC tight end coming back. I did have Tampa Bay running back there, which was fine. I guess, could I sneak in here with Ravens if I'm sitting in 446? What is what's the point total I need right now? Let's see here. Why isn't that showing up? Oh, I need to go to week 5. Let's see here. All right. So top lineup here, Tampa Bay quarterback, wide receiver stack, Cleveland running. I need to get a Cleveland running back card. This is just getting unfair. This Cleveland running back card goes nuclear every week. You get Falcons tight end card there. Bank those points from the morning. Denver DST doesn't matter. How many spots paid out? I want to see if I'm live for a min cash. That's where this week is at. We're just wondering if we're live for a min cash. 300th place, 122 points. I'm at 112. I guess Ravens D goes crazy. I could crack it. All right, maybe we eke out a min cash. Oh my God, this lineup is horrendous. I should have put this in the low ball contest. Philly stack with Panthers wide receiver bring back. I guess I do still have a Colts running back going tonight, but this team is dead on arrival. This team, whatever. I got cute with a Jag stack. Titans bring back. Raiders tight end failed me. Side hustle, 167, but not cashing. That's not bad. Ugh, disgusting. Bears stack. Uncorrelated Packers wide receiver. Ugh. Better late than never. 511 out of 624. Complete trash. How did I do in the low ball? What is taking it down in the low ball contest? I want to see what the worst low ball is. Here we go. The absolute worst was, these are unrevealed yet. So I need to find the lineup that already has 5 cards that have gone. Or are these all Colts? Okay, these are Colts. Yeah, a lot of these haven't gone yet. Look, I like the Colts onslaught in some of the low balls here. Is there anyone who's played any non-Colts so far? Okay, here's a full lineup here. We have Jets quarterback, Eagles running back, Falcons wide receiver, Arizona tight end, Bengals defense, 33.8 points. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's see. Zach needs Ravens D to score double digits, and I may get a $50 payout. There you go. Me too, buddy. Let's sweat it. Brandon needs 40 from Lamar to win the main, currently in 67. Good luck, Brandon. That sounds like a fun sweat. 40 from Lamar is definitely in play. Let's see. Worm, you forgot to submit TOC. I've been going over my TOC lineups on the Sunday morning show. But I feel you, Worm. Sundays are crazy as far as remembering. Got to get our DFS lineups in. Got to set our season-long lineups. Got to get our TOC lineups in. Got to get our underdog royales in. Got to get our pick'ems in. A lot of stuff to do on Sunday morning for us fantasy football degenerates. All right, guys, I'm going to shut things down. I need to go finish the Fantasy Life newsletter for this morning. I will be back at 2:30 p.m. Eastern today with Chris Spags to recap things on Splash Play. I will be recording the first look for Week 6 DFS DraftKings salaries over on Pat Mayo's channel. And what else do I have going on? Oh yeah, I'll be doing a showdown cram. Sundays and Mondays for me are busy. And then tonight, my bros over at Club MGMI, they will have a show that will be simulcasting on here. They're having a pizza party. I believe they're having a special guest. So if you guys are wanting to get your toes wet in NFT land, the MGMI bros are the place to be. Appreciate you guys, as always, hanging out. If you prefer the audio version or would like to start receiving audio for these shows, the In a Vacuum podcast feed is down below. I post these lineup reviews. I post the Friday strategy shows, and I post the Sunday AM crams on that feed. Any other plugs? Run the Sims. 10% off, promo code Pete. We'll be running the Sims for the action tonight. Baltimore Colts. Excited to dig into that. Hope you guys all have a blessed Monday. Don't let the chalk get you down. The GPP bros will rise again. We'll see you guys later.